We are going to talk about something that every service business owner needs to hear about: the red flags of bad customers. Now, we've all been there, right? And if you haven't yet, I promise that you will be. But imagine this: you show up to a job, and within the first 10 minutes, something just feels off, right? Maybe they ask too many questions. Maybe they try to haggle about the price, or they want to sneak in extra work for free. But don't let the red flags scare you away from getting their money. I'm going to show you how to turn these nightmare customers into wins. So stick around until the end, because I'm sharing real stories from my business where these red flags turn into upsells, loyal clients, and higher ticket sales. And trust me, you don't want to miss these tips, because they could save you a ton of headaches on your next job and help you make more money too. So comment the words red flag right now, and let's get into it. And the first red flag is the too many questions customer, right? You know the type. This customer has a never-ending list of questions. They want to know every single detail about your process, the chemicals, how long it's going to take, and so on and so forth. They're either looking for something to complain about, or they are gathering up a bunch of information, getting ready to negotiate with you. And this is how it happened to me. I remember one customer who found us from a Facebook ad. He called and he had a million questions. How long is the job going to take? What kind of chemicals are you going to use? Are you using Jomax? I saw it at Home Depot. Well, why are you doing it that way? And when I would respond, he'd just have another question. It was like he didn't trust me, or he thought he knew more than the guy that he was calling to do the work for him. And I can always feel them fishing for ways to either complain about something or negotiate the price down. So I paused and I asked this guy, "What do you do for a living?" And the guy said that he was an accountant. And I quickly responded, "Well, I wouldn't come to your office and tell you how to handle your client's taxes, right?" And he got it, right? He got the hint and he backed off. And from then on, the conversation was a lot smoother, and we got him on the schedule, which also helps when you are on site with customers like this who want to follow you around, question everything, and basically just slow down the process, right? Have the conversation early so you can do the job without constant interruptions. Most of the time when you handle this politely, I don't know if that was polite, but they realize that they're overstepping their bounds and they let you do your thing, right? So the takeaway here is, don't be afraid to set boundaries, right? A subtle comment, like I just told you about, that again, maybe isn't so subtle, but it shows that you're the expert in the situation. You have the confidence and you should be trusted to do your job. And before I tell you about the red flag number 2, I did want to mention that on October 17th, Justin is doing a Facebook ad workshop. There is a link below. Check it out if you want to increase your ROI on your Facebook ads. And that brings us to red flag number 2, the price only customer. And I'm sure that you guys know where this one's going. So when the only thing that a customer cares about is price, that is a huge red flag, right? These are the clients that don't necessarily value quality. They just want the cheapest deal possible. And if you're watching this channel, I hope that you're not the cheapest person out there. In fact, I'm guessing that you probably aren't, because you're here trying to get better, right? And I hope that you've learned to value yourself, value the service that you provide. And I hope that you are charging what you need to be charging in order for this to be a profitable venture. We are not out here to break even. We are out here to make money, just like every other business in the world. We are no different, right? You are no different. I am no different. And we need to be compensated for the services that we provide to these customers. I once had a customer give us a call and he just said, "How much?" Right? No conversation about what they needed or what their expectations were. And they didn't even want to give us their address. All they wanted was the price. And I could tell from the start that they were shopping around, obviously, for the lowest bidder. But instead of getting frustrated, I decided I was going to try to turn it around. And I said, "Is budget the only concern, or are there other factors that you're worried about?" Now, they admitted that they had some worries about the cost, but most importantly, they just wanted a good job done. So I explained that we stand behind our work, that they don't pay unless they're satisfied, that we've been in business for over 20 years. My technicians have been with me for an average of 6 years each. We take great pride in our work. Our reputation and our reviews speak for themselves. And I take great pride in what my business does in the community, right? Our reputation is paramount. I also told him that I'm pretty sure that we probably washed, either someone he knows or one of his neighbors' houses over the past, 2 decades. And, you don't have to go crazy with the details, but you need to convey that you know what you're doing, that they're not going to be disappointed, and that you will provide a phenomenal service. Now, I would caution you here, right? Especially guys that are newer, people that might not have a ton of business, don't immediately go to a discount, because it's not always necessary. A little salesmanship, a little confidence, and building a relationship is a lot of times more important than just saving a couple bucks or, giving them a discount. So in the end, they chose me, this customer chose me and my company over any other cheaper options that they talked to because I positioned myself as someone who would provide quality and, more importantly, peace of mind, right? And the takeaway here is focus on value, not on price. If the customer is only concerned about cost, shift the conversation to what makes your service worth it, right? Ask questions to understand their concerns and other solutions like reducing the level of service to meet their budget, which oftentimes can turn price shoppers into loyal customers. And that brings us to red flag number 3. The last contractor was terrible customer, right? This customer immediately starts talking smack, bad mouthing the last person they hired. And while it's a red flag, you can also use it as an opportunity to figure out how to sell them better. Okay. And yeah, I've got a story for everything, obviously, including this one. I was talking to a customer on the phone and he couldn't stop talking about how the last guy didn't show up on time. He left a mess on the windows and just did a terrible job overall, right? At first, it can seem like a big red flag when they talk shit like this, but I used it to my advantage and you can too. I listened to all of their complaints and said, well, with my company, you're going to get prompt service. We're going to show up on time. You'll get an email notification the day before when we're on the way. And if anything should change, we're going to let you know about it. But we also take great pride in our attention to detail and understand the importance of rinsing windows because they can be a mess if you don't rinse properly. And all my people are trained properly. They're trained very well. And attention to detail is one of the most important things that we emphasize. I also mentioned that they don't pay unless they're satisfied with the work. So we definitely want to make sure that they are satisfied because we want to get paid. I also said that we offer a pure water window cleaning service if that was something that they would be interested in, if windows were really, really important to them. They appreciated the fact that I took time to listen to them and reassure that I wouldn't make the same mistakes, right? In the end, I was able to make more money because I upsold them on the window cleaning because they trusted me to do better than the last guy. The complaints actually helped me seal the deal and build trust because I now knew what their pain points were, their issues in the past, and how my company can solve them, right? So use the complaints about previous contractors to your advantage. Turn their negative experience into a selling point for you by showing them how your company is different and your company is better, right? This builds trust, and you might even be able to charge a little bit more because of it. And that brings us to red flag number 4, the add-on customer. Now, this customer conveniently forgets what we quoted and then tries to add more work after we've already agreed to the price, right? They wait until you're about halfway into the job and ask for additional services. And a lot of times they're expecting you to do it for free because you're already there, right? And a couple years ago, I get a call from one of my guys who was halfway through a job and he said that the customer kept coming outside and pointing out other things that they wanted done. The first was the guy had asked if we could clean the AC concrete pad, right? And my guy said, yeah, not a problem, not a big deal. Takes a couple minutes, right? We're already out there, not a big deal. It's a good thing. But then he comes out and asks if we can do the driveway as well. And maybe the fence. He needed to decide on that, right? Wanted the driveway, wanted the fence, first wanted the AC unit. Now, I don't mind throwing in something small, right? Because there is benefit to that, but that's another video, right? I told my guy to keep working, just do what was on the schedule, and that I would contact the customer and talk to him. So I called the guy and I told him that there would be an upcharge for this. And just the tone in his voice, it was like he was offended, like I'd insulted him, right? But here's the thing. Small tasks that take a few minutes, sure, we're going to do those for free. A couple of them, not all of them, because when it starts adding up, that starts eating into our profitability. But anything that takes 10 minutes or more, that is an upcharge and you have to stand your ground. Now, I explained to the guy that this work is outside of what we initially agreed on, so I'll need to add it to the invoice. And most of the time, customers are completely understanding of this when you talk about it, right? When you're upfront about it. And it's also important not to cave in because some people are going to try to take advantage of your goodwill. So the takeaway on this one is be clear and upfront with your customers. And if they try to sneak in extra work, do not hesitate to let them know that there is an additional charge for that. And setting boundaries and expectations early will help you avoid feeling taken advantage of. And it also ensures that you're paid fairly for your time. And of course, always have terms and conditions or a customer contract that you send with every single estimate. And the customer has to agree when they're accepting the quote. This is in QuoteIQ. It's important. That's why we built it in. So there you have it. 4 red flags to watch out for when dealing with your customers, but more importantly, how to turn those situations from bad to good. Whether it's setting boundaries with annoying customers with a bunch of questions, right? Focusing on value with the price shoppers, using the past complaints to build trust, or standing your ground with add-ons. Each challenge can be flipped into an opportunity. And I hope you found this helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, do all that stuff. If you want to get on that Facebook group, go ahead and get it. And as always, check out QuoteIQ. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.